Hey, welcome back. This is part 3 of this tutorial where we are creating an app, a Nuxt 3 app using with Google Authentication, like you see here, right? So we're going to be going and creating this. In the last video, we got here to this point where we have our login, we have our nav bar here. So the next thing we need to do is we need to go and grab, create a component that will help us log into Google. So for that, we're going to go to npm.js. Go to npm, and we are going to look for a component that's named Nuxt view 3 Google Signin, something like that. Yep, this one. So we're gonna grab this one, and see, I need to refresh. I don't know why I'm not seeing the whole thing, but when you go to the home page, right, it shows you this is what we're gonna be doing here. So when you get started, we're gonna yarn add view 3 Google Signin. Let's yarn with Nuxt. We actually need this one, yarn add. So we're gonna do exactly that. We're gonna copy that, go to our application. I'm gonna add another terminal because in this one we're running the application. Paste that and let it run. Okay, that's completed. And then we're gonna say to initialize in our Nuxt config, we need to copy this, right? So I'm just gonna copy the mod user array and the Google Signin like that. So we are going to go into our Nuxt config, that one there, and underneath here we're gonna say mod user and Google Signin. All right, and then here we're gonna just for now say xxxxx. And now why isn't this working? All right, so save. Now this of course isn't a real client ID, but we're gonna see how this works. So we have that, and then that's good. The next part, we actually need to add our Google Signin button. So wherever we're going to add it, we need to import this like this. So we're just gonna grab this, and then we're going to go to our login page. I got a lot going on here. I'm gonna get rid of what I don't need. So in our login page, we now need to create, I'm gonna say script setup lang ts, and we're going to just paste that import right there. All right, and then we need to create a function to handle this success. I'm gonna copy that, just place it right there, and then a function to handle the error. I place that right there, and then in the template we need to create get our Google button, sign-in button, and we're gonna place that right underneath here. So let's see what this looks like when we go to the front door. All right, do we need to reload? I think we might need to restart. So let's restart. Okay, so once you restart and we go back, there it is. There is our Google Signin. Now here, you see this error here? It's saying that GSI logo, the given client ID is not found, and that the reason for that is the client ID that we have given, of course, is bogus. It doesn't exist. That's not a real client ID. So let's go get a real client ID then. So we're gonna go back here. Thank you for this. So we're gonna go to Google Developer Console. So if you don't have this, this probably look different for you depending on where you are, but long story short, you need to go into Developer Console, and let's say maybe you should create a project. I don't know, I guess we could just call this Nuxt Google Auth. It's no organization, it's just okay. Seems I already have something like that. It's a different organization, but really the main point, right, is not there. Sometimes this is kind of confusing actually. Maybe we actually don't need to do that. But API and services, you go here, right, and we need to go into credentials. So let me just click on this so we can go to the main folder. All right, in credentials, this is what we need here. We need to create a client ID here. The way we do that, sometimes I get confused in here. So if you're doing that, you're not the only one. So first we need to configure a consent screen and then go through all this. It's going to be external because I don't have Google. I'm not a Google Workspace user. I'm going to create. And then this is the app information. So I guess you need to do this. App name, I don't know. Next, Google Auth, support email. I'm just gonna give them this email that I use for Nuxt tutorials. No logo, up domain, authorized domains. I'll just say nuxtim.com. Domain I use. At least one email. It's just going to be jeremynuxtim at gmail.com. So I just use this email just for this. So if you want to get hold of me, I don't know, gonna send a message. All right, sensitive scopes. No, we don't need any of that. Just save and continue. Just save and continue. Back to dashboard. All right, once that's running, let me see now. No. I guess publish apps. Sometimes I don't even. Sometimes I get lost in here. Okay. So, oops. Not there. So when we go back here to our credentials, right? Now if I click on create credentials and go to Auth client ID, I'm presented with this now. So what we're creating here is a web application, right? So I need a client ID for a web application, and the web client, I guess, not Google Auth. I'll call this local since we're doing this from the local host, and then a JavaScript origins. This is where we're going to be connecting from. So Google's API will read this like the localhost 3000. Okay, so we're gonna just say the origin is let me see, just add localhost first, and then maybe let's just try that. Okay, localhost first, and then the redirect URI. Once everything is good, it's going to redirect to localhost 3000 and dashboard. So the second one should just be 3000 because that's most likely where we'll be logging in from. Localhost 3000, like that. All right. So this dashboard is this right there. All right. So this is being created right now. So okay, so all client created. So this client ID is what we need. All right, we're gonna copy this. It's gonna be different for you. Client ID is what we need. I'm gonna just copy that there. We're going to go right here. We probably need to restart Nuxt, but let's see what it's going to do in the front. It's restarting. Okay, it's restarted. Now you can see that it's no longer saying, hey, that client ID doesn't exist. So it recognizes that this client ID we've put in here is a real client ID. All right, so now when you click this, right, you're presented with, oh, now you can see, so you can be able to log in. So this is just the beginning, but it's a, we can celebrate now. All right, so when we go into the login page, we have two functions. When everything is successful, there's handle login success. It's gonna go here, right? When there's an error, it's gonna go to handle login error. All right. So let me just show you, like, you could try yourself what's going to happen. Wait a minute, I think I'm in the wrong one, right? Am I in the one? I have too many apps running. Yes, it's the right one. So whenever you sign in, right, we're gonna get a response back, and that response, in the response, we're gonna grab the credential. That credential is actually an access token. All right, so let's see what that's going to do. So I'm going to attempt to sign in. I'm going to sign in as Jeremy. I'll just Jeremy Auth. Confirm. Okay, so we see this, right? This is an access token, and what we need to do now is we're going to grab this access token, send it into the back end, and exchange that token with the actual information about the person who's trying to sign in. So we need to create some we need to do some back end work now. And so in Nuxt, the back end is located in the server. So we have this TS config, and what we need to do now is create an endpoint. Right. So in server, if you don't have server already, you can create it. Server, and then in server you create API, and then in API we're going to create an endpoint, and this endpoint we're going to just call Google login. We're going to say post.ts. Okay, and long story short, what this means is that the endpoint will be API Google login. It will only accept post requests. Okay, and let's look at an example of like Nuxt server. Go into the server directory. I always do this just to get an example of how to. I'm gonna just copy this. Define event handler. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this right here. I'm gonna stop and restart. Oh, I think I posed the the video by mistake, but I hope I was recording all this other stuff. So in login, we created this, a credential, user await, and all this stuff. So let's see what happens when we go back here. So just copy this if you didn't see it before. Sorry about that. And then we go to login. We're kind of expecting this. Actually, all I'm going to, I think I'm just going to return not a whole object. Well, let's see. Let's see what we get back. Let's give it a shot. Do I need to restart? Okay. Let's see what happens if I try to log in. We get that. And actually I should have tried to console log. Here, we're going to try to console log user. Let's give it another shot. All right. Okay. So user data, it's this, and hello world is the raw values coming back as an object. All right, we'll fix all this. Right now, all we're trying to see is if we can return, like the API endpoint is working. All right, now I usually don't use fetch. But what we're going to do now, right, is we're going to get this token from the body and just return it. I'm going to close this. Close this. So on this endpoint, we're going to say const body equals await read body from the event. And this is going to be an async function, so that would, and then we're gonna just return the token. So what we're testing here is if we can read the token from the body that we sent. Now I'm going to change things up in the here. I'm just going to use the raw fetch. I'm just going to say that like this. Might be the same thing, but and I'm going to get rid of this token. So what are we going to get back? Okay, see that? Cleaner. So we get back an object code token. So that means the token that we get here, we're passing it in the body, and in the body we can get it back. So we know that, okay, our endpoint is working correctly. Very good. In the next tutorial, God willing, now we're going to do some more back-end work where we're going to take this token and verify it in Google. Right, and then use that token to get the user's information, and then we're going to get the user information and then send it to the front end, which means that the user has been able to log in successfully. We've been able to verify the credentials. So we're talking about Google login here, but if you want to learn how to create an app that you can use to log in with email and password that has modern authentication, right? So you can do something like, say, Jeremy, an example, and you can log in like that. And so this is dashboard. You have settings, and you can log out, and you can register users too. then click the link below, because I have a tutorial that will show you exactly how to do that. It's a step-by-step tutorial. It's really good, and it goes just beyond Nuxt 3 authentication and teaches you more about authentication in general. You're going to learn about sessions and cookies, and even like how to grab the user's API address. All right, so some of the code in that is I think it's this one, right? So I'm going to show you how to write like helpers, passwords, how to hash password, how to verify passwords. We're going to create sessions. I'm going to show you how to grab, use Prisma and all that. So yeah, it's pretty good. The goal is to help you become an authentication pro. So stop struggling with Nuxt 3 authentication. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in a step-by-step fashion. I think you will love it. All right, so just click the link below, and I'm going to be there waiting for you, and I'll show you step-by-step exactly how I did it. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next one, we're going to see how we can take that token in the backend and then exchange it for real user information. All right, I'll see you in the next video. God bless.